Portions of this program are brought to you by CurePoint Cancer Treatment, 2406 Bellevue Road in Dublin. At CurePoint Cancer Treatment, we're bringing you state-of-the-art cancer treatment right here at home. CurePoint Cancer Treatment. Check us out on Facebook.
Welcome everybody. I'm glad to be here today with a dear friend of mine, Amanda Stokes, and we've been doing these success stories over the last, I guess, 30 days or so. Amanda, we've been doing success stories from Oconee Fall Line Technical College. And of course, your name come up, Emma and I were talking. I said, I think I know that lady. And as I started reading some of the things you had done, first of all, I am so proud of you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. I want to say that right up front. But for our viewers' sake, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm a certified pharmacy technician. I work at the VA here in Dublin. Servicing our American heroes is very special to me. Great customer service skills is what is expected of me, and that's what we try to do on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I know you were trained well. We were kind of talking off camera a little while ago and talking about Jack Shepard. I have sit in his classrooms. I have watched him teach. The man is incredible. That's the only way I know how to describe him. There's probably a lot of adjectives I could describe him, but the guy really is passionate about what he does. Talk about your experience being in Jack's classroom. Being
in Mr. Shepard's classroom was amazing. His academic program is phenomenal. It is extremely well. He yields, his pass rate is amazing. He has just the best, one of the best programs. It's very challenging, no doubt, but it was a very and is a very good program.
Out of all the fields that are offered throughout this community, and over 100 degrees are offered just at Oconee Fall Line Technical College. Why would you choose to be a pharmacy technician?
Well, I had always wanted to be in the medical profession and to be able to help others. I knew that the pharmacy technician program would be challenging, and truly it was. It's a broad area. There's so many different areas that you can work in pharmacy, experience a lot, and learn so much, and I can honestly say that that's what I have accomplished.
For people watching us right now that say, man, that sounds like something I'd really like to do, what qualities do we look for in someone who wants to become a pharmacy tech?
You've got to have, number one, great customer service skills, number one. Also, you've got to have good work ethics. You've also got to have a lot of attention to detail. You've got to be able to understand why you're doing what you're doing. It is a very important field, you know, to be in as far as medicine and patients and things like that.
Yeah, because you got to know what you're doing. It don't matter sometimes what the doctor orders. You got to make sure that medicine is measured properly, the right dosage. It's a lot more than you go in your local pharmacy and you see them counting out pills for you or something like that. It's a lot more than that. There's a lot more in the background, but and you also have to be a good math student, don't you?
That's correct.
You got to be really good at math.
You got to be really good at math. That's one of the big challenges, that you got to be good at math.
That's tough. I could probably get that part. Now, the other parts I'd probably fail out, but the math I could probably whiz through. But okay, Oconee Fall Line. Tell me about your experience there. We talked about Jack, but talk about from the time you walked in the door, the assistance that you got and helping you choose the field that you wanted. Talk a little bit about OFTC.
OFTC means a lot to me. I remember when the first building was ever built out there, and I knew that that was going to be a true asset to our community, and it has actually absolutely been just that. Being accepted there at OFTC in the fashion and the manner that I was meant a lot to me. It took a lot of being scared and afraid away from me, being able to interact with knowledgeable instructors and people who were willing to help you and willing to tutor you or to give you any type of advice and encouragement is actually what kept me going and helped me get through my career.
And how did you get on here and go to work at the VA?
I've been a pharmacy technician for approximately about 8.5 to 9 years, and I've worked in other hospital environments, experienced a lot of stuff, a lot of stuff. I got a call one day, and so I took the offer. It is amazing. This is where I needed to be. Number one, servicing and helping, giving back to our veterans, our American heroes, is awesome to me. I have a trustworthy relationship with every single one of them that comes to see me, and that is what is expected of me. I also give them good, honest advice. I also help them with their medical questions or their medicine questions or things like that. And I felt now this is the place for me.
What's the typical, well, I don't know if there is a typical day, but what is a semi-typical day like in the pharmacy at the VA hospital?
It is very fast paced.
Your boss is laughing in the background, so.
She knows. She knows. It is very fast paced. So much different things. No one day is the same. And that's what I enjoy. And I learn from different things that is asked of me by patients. You know, I am confident, you know, in making decisions. However, I do have to consult with a pharmacist on a day-to-day basis sometimes, but it is very fast-paced. And I will have to say that there is a little bit of stress, if I may, but being able, just a little bit, being able to just, you know, do your best at what you do and honor and service and honesty, and at the end of the day, it's well worth it.
And I envy you in a lot of ways because I'm out here at the VA a lot. I do a lot of stories. We have Events and Voice, a show that we do out here every week, multiple times a week. And I'll have to tell you, I stand in awe when I talk to these veterans and I walk down these halls, and it's just indescribable, the feeling that I have to be in the presence of such heroes. I never served in the military, but I love our military, and I am so proud that we have, and it leads me to my next question to you, I'm so proud we have this VA hospital here. And you and I know from years of being here what an impact this VA hospital, we serve 52 counties out of this hospital here. And people come, those of you watching us may not know, but people come from all over Georgia to get first-class care here. And I brag on the VA a lot, and people say, well, are they really doing their job, James? I said, are they perfect? No, because I'm not either. You know, none of us are perfect, but yes, we have a great VA hospital here. None of us are perfect. On this side of heaven, we're not going to be perfect, but we strive for that. But you know how important it is having this hospital here, don't you?
I do. I certainly do. It is very important. It is very important.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years from now, I obtained a diploma and a degree, an associate's degree in applied science. I am thinking of furthering my education. Not really sure, but that is on the agenda and the goal.
You actually went to Oconee Fall Line many years ago and got a diploma, right? And then you went back years later and got your degree in pharmacy tech. That's a lot of education.
It is. It was very difficult, may I say that. It was very difficult.
Why would you do that?
Well, it just shows just how much you can grow as far as in the pharmacy technician career or area. And I just wanted to do it. I set out to do it, and I intended to finish. You know, self-motivation and self-discipline paid off. It was very difficult, but I obtained it, and I got it.
That's wonderful. And you should be proud. You should be proud. As I started the show, I love doing these success stories, and I really love it when I know the person and I know how far they've come and how hard a work it is. And I've watched my own daughter, she's in nursing, and I know I've seen her cry and cry and study and study and cry and study. So it's very difficult, but the reward is phenomenal. So we're going to continue our conversation with Amanda Stokes here at the VA hospital right after this. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Friendly Gus has everything you need this football season. From our everyday value items like a $2.99 two-piece dark meat chicken snack, or our fish pork chop 3-piece dark or 2-piece white meat snack for just $5.50. Friendly Gus caters. Order one of our 20, 40, or 60-piece chicken finger or wing platters. And don't forget the tater logs. Friendly Gus is your one-stop shop for tailgating parties. Our food is always fresh and our service is always friendly. Friendly Gus with locations throughout Middle Georgia. Shop Cochran Brothers Cash and Carry at 320 South Jefferson Street for additional tailgate items like paper products, chicken wings, bulk drinks, spices, sauces, and more.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm continuing my conversation with Amanda Stokes, and if you're just joining us, you've been watching the last few weeks here on the TV station. Success stories from Oconee Fall Line Technical College, and we're continuing that today with Amanda. You mentioned a little while ago about stress, and during the break, it kept popping in my head what you said, but tell me, how do you deal with stress?
Just relax. At the end of the day, just relax your body, relax your mind. I do a lot of walking, if I may say that, and exercising, but staying calm to me during a stressful situation will make it a lot easier on you how you're going to deal with that at that moment. And it may not be as much stress as you think, but just, stay calm and stay focused.
Yeah, just step back, take a deep breath, and it's amazing how we look at things different, isn't it?
It is.
People watching us now, and I've heard this from people over the last year or so as I do segments for Oconee Fall Line, is, James, I'm just too old to do that, or I'm too old to do this. And I always tell people you're never too old to do anything if you set your mind to it. But what would you say to someone that is later in life and they kind of scared to change careers, or they may have been forced through plant shutdown or whatever to make that decision? Talk to that viewer just a minute about how they should approach this.
Well, you've asked someone that can tell you exactly how it is. It was late in my life when I decided to make a career change, and it can be done. It truly can be done. Self-motivation determines what you do. Discipline determines what you do. It does not matter how old an individual is to step out there, take on a new career. I admire them for that, and it can be done, it can be achieved.
And a lot of times and I say that because I'm in that category, but a lot of times we have an advantage because we've learned from my years in college to now. I'm a lot more mature, a heck of a lot more mature than I was back then, but we do have a certain advantage when we come in, and I see it in the classroom at Oconee Fall Line where the younger kids gather around and I'll say the more mature person, because I don't feel like we're old. I don't feel old. Maybe more mature, and some of you watching said, that old man, what's he talking about? But they gather around the person and they feed off of that person. Did you experience any of this?
I did. Being able to help other students, younger students, was, amazing. And and I actually was able to tutor some of them and help them out on the side, and I had to have it as well, but being able to do that for them, and keep them going, keep them motivated, or keep them just plugging right along, is so important. Don't give up, because you can do what you set your mind to do.
Do you remember the day you walked in and either picked up a pamphlet or talked to someone, or go back to that day? First of all, do you remember that?
I do.
Share that with us.
I remember walking into that building out there and picking up the pamphlet And when I did, I looked at it and I read through it. And I said, this is something that seems to be, you know, my calling. Maybe this is exactly what I need to do. Met with my advisor, who was Mr. Jack Shepard. Thank him very much. And then I registered, everything fell into place, and I finished the course.
How about the other people you came in contact with, whether it be registration or financial aid or whatever it might be? How easy did they make it?
It was very easy. Everything was at ease. Financial aid was no problem. The admissions was no problem. Everybody is so professional out there, and they're so helpful, and they do it from their heart, you know, and they strive to do that for all students. And I thank each and every one of them very much for how they influenced me and helped me, made me feel comfortable while I was there.
And you hear, all of you listening, you see how easy it is? All you got to just make that first step. And the staff at Oconee Fall Line, you hear this over and over what Amanda's saying, so the proof's in the pudding, so to speak, but they make it so easy. Just come in, and if you don't know what field you may want, there's testing for that. You can have advisors go through that with you, but you've heard Amanda, it is so easy to just make that first step. And now it's going to get difficult sometime in there, but you have people helping. It's teamwork, and then before you know it, you're walking down that aisle to graduation. Tell me about that night.
That's an amazing feeling. It really is. It's an amazing feeling. Our graduation from the second time around was virtual, which was different, but it was wonderful. It was nice. But it is a wonderful feeling. It's kind of like when you're in a football game and you get in the end zone and you've made a touchdown.
Yeah.
When you get that cap and gown on, anybody, any profession, it is truly a wonderful feeling.
Yep, absolutely. And I'll tell you, Amanda, I've seen people, I've been to many graduations at Oconee Fall Line, and I've seen them come down, people getting their GED. And then before you know it, a few years later, I see that same person. I said, they look familiar, and they're coming down the aisle getting a degree in criminal justice or cosmetology or cyber technology or respiratory therapy or whatever, the many degrees. And here they come down the aisle again to get that diploma. And then like you, here you come back several years later getting a degree in a field. So the sky's the limit. And you're even talking about you may go back and do a little more. So, and you hit on it a while ago. We are so fortunate to have Oconee Fall Line here. And one thing you've not mentioned I want to bring out is it's right here at home. You don't have to go way off and drive. And another thing, you didn't have a whole pile of debt, did you?
That's right.
Now that's a good feeling.
It
Yeah,
is.
none. I like that, none. And I hear that from so many students. You go off and you come back with so much debt, and you talking about stressful, that's stressful. So listen, before we go, last thing, let's talk to our viewers again about any advice or encouragement that you may have for somebody watching today that's saying, gosh, there's no way I can do what that lady's doing, or there's no way I can do what I want to do. Share some encouragement and advice for that person.
Encouragement to me is something that everybody needs on a day-to-day basis. My advice to anybody, as I've said during the interview, set your goal, stay motivated, stay disciplined, and don't ever give up. Anything anybody sets their mind to do, they can do it. It can be done.
Absolutely. Just do it.
Just do it.
Yeah, just do it. I don't want to close out without offering you, if you want to say anything else or anything at all, you know, I'll turn the floor over to you. But I do envy you once again to be able to work with these veterans every day. I think it's an honor to be out here, and I'm out here weekly, but to be here every day and to serve these veterans that gave us the very freedom we have to sit here on this television set and talk about anything we want to talk about without any fear of reprisal. So they gave that to us. They gave it with their lives a lot of time, or limbs, or so many other ways. But I'm going to let you take us out. But is there anything else you'd like to share with our viewers?
I would. Thank you very much. I would like to say thank you for, it was an honor to do this today, and to thank the VA for allowing me to be able to serve our American heroes, our veterans. They are very dear to me. No, like I've said earlier, no one situation is the same. But the trustworthiness, the honesty, the transparency between us as we speak to each other, I speak to them, I thank them for their service, and that comes from my heart. I'd also like to take a moment to be able to thank my boss, my superior, Dr. Laura Miller. Thank you, James. And I'd also like to say thank you to Mr. Jack Shepard, Emily Rayleigh, and OFTC.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you for sitting down today. I know you have a lot going on, and Dr. Miller was kind enough to loan you to us for these few minutes, because it is important to share these success stories and to show you can do it. You can do it. Anything the mind can conceive, the body can achieve. So you just make your mind up you want to do it. Phone number's right there on the screen. It's been popping up as we talk today. So pick up the phone and call. Amanda just mentioned Dr. Laura Miller. We're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to talk with her a few minutes. So stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, I'm Tasha Rowland, and everyone here at the Cloverleaf Restaurant would like to invite you to come try our country-style all-you-can-eat buffet. We hold ourselves to the highest standards of safety and quality in the food we prepare for you. We clean our facilities constantly, and we offer curbside service. Just call 478-275-2080, and we will have your order ready right away. And Friday is our seafood day. You deserve a great meal. Cloverleaf Caters. Call us for your next gathering or event. So treat yourself to the Cloverleaf Restaurant and make sure you're satisfied. We are open Sunday through Fridays 11 to 2 with plenty of dining, or we can get it ready to go for you.
Welcome back, everybody. As promised, I have with us now Dr. Laura Miller. She is a hometown girl. I have been friends with her mom and dad forever and ever and ever. I know all about you, but before we get started on some of the questions I want to ask you, tell our viewers exactly who you are, who your family is.
Okay, my name is Laura Beasley Miller. I grew up here in Dublin, graduated from Dublin High School, went to UGA, graduated from pharmacy school there. My parents are Scott and Lynn Beasley, and I'm married to Rob Miller, and his parents are the late Butch and Cecile Miller. And we have been back in Dublin since 1999.
Wow. Butch Miller, when you say his name, he was such a wonderful man, and such a friend of this television station. You know, some people will cross the street not to talk to you, but Butch, he would cross the street to talk to me. And it was always something, he would say, James, I love that show you did with so-and-so, or James, it was always an encouraging word. Sure, he could have said a lot of bad things, I'm sure, all the mess ups, but he always focused on the good. He was a positive man, and I had known him for 40 whatever years, I guess, but what stands out is he was a very encouraging person. He always made me feel good.
A very humble servant.
Yes, absolutely. And we need more Butch Millers.
We sure do.
We need more, not less. And we did lose him this past year.
Every day, Rob and I think we want to talk to him about something that's going on in current events.
I know.
And
yeah,
we miss him.
Yeah, and this community misses him. And of course, Scott, your dad has served in so many capacities, not only on the Development Authority with the Chamber and in the church, and we could do a half-a-day show on things that he's done in the community. And But you come from good stock anyway. That was really what I wanted to bring out before we started, and I was excited to be able to get you to join the show today. When I found out you was actually in charge of the pharmacy, I said, I asked the person, I said, "You mean Scott Beasley's daughter?" "Oh, I can't. I got to get her on." So I called him. I said, "You got to get this lady on now." So I was excited about getting you here. So now we got here. I'm done. No, I'm kidding. But anyway, we are excited to be here. And you just heard Amanda Stokes, and Dr. Miller is her boss. First of all, before we go any further, that was a good hire. Good job. So what do you, you know, when we think of a pharmacy, like I go to my local pharmacy, I go to Thomason Pharmacy, there's some really nice girls behind the counter. Well, it's not that case with the VA. You have a lot of employees, don't you?
Yes, sir, we do. We have our total pharmacy staff is up to, including our residents, is 84.
My goodness. You manage 84 people.
I do.
Well, I'm not going to ask you what you do in a typical day because, like I asked Amanda,
It's always a surprise.
You kind of just roll with the flow,
That's
don't
right.
you? That is
That's right.
wonderful. So, how does it feel working with the veterans every day?
I love working with the veterans. I came back to work here when Rob and I moved back to Dublin in 1999. I worked in the nursing home. I worked in the outpatient clinic. Got to know so many veterans. And of course, both of my grandfathers served in World War II.
Yeah.
One actually lived out here in our community living
did.
center and enjoyed every second of it. They really took good care of him. It's a unique population. Not every normal treatment that you would think of is going to be appropriate for our veteran population. And what's good about the VA is that we will cater and individualize that treatment plan to make sure it takes care of the veteran. And we have a great, I'm very proud of our pharmacists and pharmacy techs because they're very good at doing that.
Yeah. I always went by and talked to your grandfather. He was actually over in the new part,
Right.
the new buildings they had built over, I don't know what they call them, but the new wings.
Right.
And I'd always go by his room and talk to him, and he was the most fascinating man. It was like sitting down with Mr. Porter, Dr. Porter. Stories, I could write a book off the stories just from him and Dr. Porter have told me in my life. And that's what people don't realize. If you are a member of a church or youth group or whatever, and I know things are a little different now with COVID, but you ought to make it your project. At Christmas, I know we'd always come by and bring toiletries or candy, little gift bags to them and drop it off. And it was just the smallest things, but it meant so much to these veterans. And I know there's some protocol in place now, it's a little different, but I encourage people to do that.
When the COVID restrictions are lifted, hopefully that will be soon and we'll be able to go back to having visitation. I'm sure it will be different. I don't know what it will look like in the future, but it does just brighten their day to see people, but especially young people.
Yes.
I always loved bringing my kids out here and their friends, and they love seeing young people. And you know, you just get attached to them. You really do. Every one of them.
It's hard not to. I mean, these are, you know, all, you know, especially now we see all this stuff in the news with everybody's taking a side, and there's so much hate in the world, and people think their opinion means something when it really don't. But you come out here, these are real, true heroes, unsung heroes in a lot of areas, but they're the real McCoy.
They're the real deal, that's for sure.
Yeah, and I know it's got to be an honor for you.
I love it. I mean, I've been here 21 years, so I must love it.
Yeah, you could go anywhere, so you choose to be here at the VA.
I want to be here.
Yeah.
I want to be here. It's been a great experience. And pharmacy has changed so much in that 21-year span. Wow. I mean, you think how much we've changed over the past year with COVID, and those have kind of been forced changes and adaptations, but how medicine and technology and pharmacy has changed since the 90s.
You've
It's
seen a
been
lot
incredible.
of change. You've seen a lot of changes, Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
What makes C21 Durden Cornegay the #1 realty group in the area? First off, we sell more homes, and our team of agents works harder than any other realty brokerage. Buying or selling a home can be made easy with our professionals, so make the #1 choice in your real estate agent. Century 21 Durden and Cornegay Realty. For more information, log on to c21dublin.com or call us at 272-1535.
There's a lot of misconceptions about pre-existing conditions. Pre-existing condition can be covered right away. The first day that you have the policy, on the effective date of your health insurance policy, pre-existing condition is covered. Maternity care is covered right away. In the old days, a person would have to pay extra to have maternity coverage. There's no charge, no additional charge on your health insurance premium for maternity care. And that once a year exam that all of us do not want to go have with the doctor, it's covered at 100%. Preventive care and wellness exams are covered at 100%.
Well, let me ask you first, why do you like to hire people that come from OFTC?
I like to hire people that come from OFTC because I know that they are well trained. I know that they are motivated. First of all, it's not an easy program to get into. It's competitive. And just for them to get accepted into that program is an accomplishment. I know from that point they're a hard worker or they probably wouldn't have gotten in. The program is well run. Jack Shepard is so good at what he does, and he really cares, not only cares about the profession, but he cares about the students. And we try to support it in any way we can. We've got pharmacists and technicians who serve on the board with the program. We allow the pharmacy techs to do their clinical rotations with us. We always think and we're biased, but we think a VA is a great place to do your rotations because you get a little bit of everything. You get geriatrics, you get urgent care, you get a good inpatient experience, you get a sterile compounding experience, you get outpatient experience, you get controlled substance experience, diversion control, process improvement, and education. We have a great education program here within the pharmacy at the VA, and we make sure the techs are a part of that just as much as the pharmacist.
And when you hire these people, and those qualities are great, but when you hire anybody, or these people from Oconee Fall Line, there's constant training, aren't there? You just don't get a degree and then you say, okay, I'm done for life. It's just, you just mentioned all the changes since you've been here.
Well, we have a very intense orientation program. We have certain skills that we expect them to know when they get here. You know, I can't, it's like I say with pharmacists and techs, I can't teach you how to be, I'm not going to teach you how to be a pharmacist or tech because someone's already taught you that. Right. We're going to teach you our way, how to use our equipment, how our processes and procedures go. And Amanda talked about it earlier, customer service is a big deal. There's a big expectation if you work at the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center Pharmacy that you will treat these customers like they're your family. I tell them all the time, I know we have rules and regulations to follow. Obviously it's a pharmacy and there's certain things you just can and cannot do. But when it comes down to a veteran needing help, please help them. Don't break the law, don't compromise your license, but do what you can to help them. And I will stand behind them. You know, it's real easy to be kind.
Don't cost a thing, does it?
Doesn't cost a dime.
Yeah, and I tell people all the time, don't cost a dime to love people and to care about them and to treat them with respect. None of those things. It don't matter how much money you got or what you make or don't make. It's so simple to do those things. And how could you not be kind to the people that you heard a while ago, we just talked about it, that have served our country and giving us the very freedoms we enjoy.
Right.
So what qualities do you look for? I mean, you got 84 employees. You got them coming from every kind of job description.
Yeah.
But when you sit down, and if you're going to sit down and interview me right now, what qualities are you looking for?
I want to know that you're an independent thinker. I want to know that presented with a problem, you can use the resources. You're resourceful. You know how to use resources around you and figure out, because in pharmacy we have to figure out a pretty much immediate resolution to a problem. Okay, so and technicians, just like the pharmacists, there are some things they have to figure out on their own every day. You got to figure out. You got to be a forward thinker. You have to be adaptable. You have to be flexible. If COVID-19 has taught us anything else, you know, you got to learn to roll with it. And sorry, we're not doing it that way anymore. We're going to go to a new way. But also, I like to find people who want to challenge themselves. We have several technicians working in advanced roles, and most of them are products of Oconee Fall Line. And because they have the building blocks and the work ethic that was taught to them in that program, they're moving on up. We have clinical technicians. We have technicians who are in charge of all the automation in the hospital. We have some leadership roles for technicians. So pretty much the sky's the limit. And here in the VA, you can even move on and use your skills in pharmacy to go on to a higher level job. And while it's always sad to lose someone, I just have to be like a proud mama and be proud that, hey, I know they can do this work. Yeah. Whatever they're doing, it's going to be good.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I got to have good customer service skills, independent thinkers, and problem solvers.
That's the top three. Of course, that's just the beginning. So.
Then you do have to be good at math.
Well, that's my strong suit right there. My wife asked me, she said, how do you figure that so quick? And I really don't know. But math is one of them fun things now. But I do know in pharmacy, you got to know math. I do really. It's more than counting to 10. It's, you got to be able to figure things out. But
and people don't realize how important those interpersonal skills are as well, because not only do you have to deal with pharmacy, but you may have to deal with the people in enrollment and eligibility all day. If a veteran comes in and needs his meds and that's messed up, you may have to deal with the social worker to make sure they can get here to pick up their meds. You may have to deal with logistics to make sure if we can't get the supplies, that they can help us get the supplies the patients need to make their medicine effective. So you've got to be sharp.
So originally when you came back, y'all come back to Dove in 1999, right? Mm-hmm. So what brought you to the VA?
Well, I knew that they had a strong clinical pharmacy program, and I'm a clinical pharmacist at heart. That's where the heart of my career is. And also I knew Mary Crabb. She was the previous chief of pharmacy. I knew LaWanda Allen. Allen's not her last name anymore, but LaWanda went to high school with me and she worked here. She's now in Atlanta. And I knew Deborah and Glenn Hobbs, and Carla Youngblood, and I knew they all worked here. I knew they loved it. So I talked to Mary to see what was available, and about that time LaWanda was getting ready to move to Atlanta. So I applied for her job, and I just knew it was what I wanted to do. Like you said before, my family is very invested in this community. We've all at one point or another served on pretty much every service organization or whatever, and that's what we love to do. Yeah. But the VA is a big part of this community, not just healthcare wise, but economically as well.
Well, in service, and I can say this because from your grandfather forward, but service has always been a part of the Beasley/Miller. That was a match made in heaven when y'all got married, as a matter of fact. What two better families, seriously though, that would gel the way both come from kind of the same kind of traits, you know, that service and you know, others above self, and you know, one of the hardest things we have to do as a Christian is to deny ourselves and put others first. And we're human.
That's right.
You know, and that is difficult, you know, if we're honest with ourselves. Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.
Hey, I'm Tasha Rowland, and everyone here at the Cloverleaf Restaurant would like to invite you to come try our country-style all-you-can-eat buffet. We hold ourselves to the highest standards of safety and quality in the food we prepare for you. We clean our facilities constantly, and we offer curbside service. Just call 478-275-2080, and we will have your order ready right away. And Friday is our seafood day. You deserve a great meal. Cloverleaf Caters. Call us for your next gathering or event. So treat yourself to the Cloverleaf Restaurant and make sure you're satisfied. We are open Sunday through Fridays 11 to 2 with plenty of dining, or we can get it ready to go for you.
As I see you sit there, and as you've talked, and I watched that flag pretty well draped behind you, Department of Veteran Affairs, you just look very at home. And another thing, you're very passionate about what you do, aren't you?
I am. I love my job, but I love the people I work with. One of the best parts about the Carl Vinson VA Medical Center Pharmacy is our people. Our techs are awesome. When we get new pharmacists in, they're like, y'all have the best techs of anyone we've ever worked with, and we do, but our pharmacists are really awesome as well. We have pharmacists that have gained national recognition for their work. We have pharmacists doing just really incredible things that are innovative, that are really driven towards helping patients, helping improve their overall health, their mental health. You know, it just makes me proud. And I don't take credit for all of them. They did that on their own. You know, I'm like I said earlier, I'm the mama bear, the cheerleader that makes sure they get it done.
Yeah, and you know, yeah, you can help. Oconee Fall Line trains them properly and gets them certified in the field they're in. But I believe some of these things, and I've listened to every word you've said, and I keep hearing, you got to be born with that, and you got to be born with that, you know. And some things you can train, but a lot of these things, you know, as far as, you know, being born with a love for your fellow man, you know, that you got to get that early on. From your family growing up, we're taught certain things, but a lot of that you can't train.
No, but you can lead by example.
That's right.
And I have a great leadership group here as well, that leads by example every day. And when new staff come on board, when new techs, new pharmacists come on board, when we have students from both pharmacy schools and pharmacy tech schools, and with our residency program, when they see our pharmacy leadership taking the kind of responsibility that they do, and then just caring for others, saying, I'll work your shift because your babysitter has COVID. You know, I mean, it's a family, but it sure makes work life a whole lot better when you can be like that.
Everybody pulling together. You're on the same team anyway.
That's right.
And finally, and when you came back in 1999, you come back to a community that has a technical school sitting right here in the heart of Lawrence County. We don't have to drive a long way. We don't have to build up a lot of debt. But it's sitting right here. You know, it's within to most of us, 10, 15 minutes. I know Lawrence County is a big county, but within 15, 20 minutes or so. But tell our viewers, from your personal standpoint, how fortunate do you think we are to have a college in our community like we have at Oconee Fall Line?
We're super fortunate to have that. I mean, if it makes, I want to see it grow and grow, because I know from my family's involvement with the Chamber of Commerce and the Development Authority, and then also, as long as I've worked here, we need to hire people with skills, okay? That's what new employers are looking for, And we've got that right here. Okay? We've got the best. I'd put my techs up against any hospital in this country with their skills. I really would. And in fact, if it weren't for the pandemic, I would be at a national convention right now. And when I hear about what other people's technicians are doing, it's good stuff, but I'm thinking mine are even better.
Yeah.
And honestly, the majority of them were trained at Oconee Fault Line.
Yeah, we are so fortunate.
Oh,
though.
we are
I
so
mean,
fortunate.
And I know that, and I preach it all the time, and people always saying, James, why do you always say that about OFTC? And the reason is, it was, and I always go back to Mr. Louis Livingston. He pushed that. We had to have this technical school. Everybody don't need to go to college. College is for certain things, but we need pharmacy techs. We need HVAC people. We need welders. We need plumbers. We need all these other
Mechanics.
things. Yeah. And then a lot of people here, the police department here on the VA hospital, a lot of them were trained at Oconee Fault Line. So out of the 1,600 or so employees, a lot of them got their training right here in the community.
Right. And I'll also reiterate what you said earlier, is that they don't come out with a ton of debt.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I do have some employees who, you know, who have a lot of student debt, and it weighs on them.
Yes.
But that's just got to be a great feeling to have a degree and a job that you know you can make a decent wage, have room to grow and move forward, and not have to worry about a huge debt.
Yeah.
I just think that's incredible, and you know, just adds to the benefit that we get from.
Yeah, and takes that stress off of them.
Gosh.
I mean, we know owing money is stressful. I mean, it's easy to borrow money, but you got to pay it back. You know, that's where the hard part comes. But you got to bring them in, and they probably do a better job, you know, because an employee would stress on them. Maybe their productivity may not be as good as the one that is less stressful. But, well, I really appreciate you talking to us. I'm kind of glad, I'm not glad of COVID, but I'm kind of glad you wasn't out of town, because we got to do this interview with her. Dr. Laura Miller, Dr. Laura Beasley Miller. I just really appreciate you sitting down and talking to us. I know you're busy. You have all those employees. You got so many hats to wear, and yet you took the time to sit down and talk to me. So it's an honor to actually know that you decided to sit down and talk to me. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do. And to all our veterans here at the VA hospital, thank you so much for your service. And during this Christmas season, this holiday season, we wish you a very Merry Christmas, and we cannot thank you enough. Here at the TV station, and I can tell you from someone who's around this community all the time, very involved in the chamber and the different things around the community, this community appreciates every one of you. Thank you so much, and thank you to all of you for joining us today right here on TV 35.